Hey gamers, Aksu here. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the topic of stability. Are you building your base and you're trying to place a tile and you see the insufficient stability and you're wondering, hey, what's going on here? This video is for you. The first and most important thing to know is the ground in this game, the terrain that is the source of stability. When you're in your construction menu, only the building tiles on the structural tab can anchor into the ground and provide stability for your structures. If a structural block, such as a foundation or a pillar or a column, is in contact with the ground, I'll call that a grounded tile. And remember that it's those tiles that are grounded that are the only ones bringing stability into your build. Keep in mind that it is possible for pillar and column tiles to be used in an ungrounded state, so you can put those on top of floors and you can use them in intermediate positions where they're not actually grounded. On the opposite end, foundation blocks, they must be grounded. You can't ever have an ungrounded or floating foundation tile. Now you can directly stack foundation tiles, it's the only way to not place a foundation tile that's directly on the terrain, but all of those foundation tiles that are stacked up, they're all considered grounded. And that's true for pillars and columns as well that are grounded. The entire stack above them are also grounded. And of course, remember now, if you destroy a grounded tile, then any and all tiles that solely rely on that tile for support will also collapse. Alright, so once you have that grounded block, the amount of stability you're going to get depends on the orientation, the direction that you're trying to traverse. There are some nuances around how you build that will depend on whether you're able to place a block at any particular time. So horizontally, you can go up to 9 continuous steps, but you can't go 10. When I talk about a continuous step, I'm talking about that you can actually trace back all the way to the foundation block or the grounded block that's giving you stability. And I am trying to separate what I call tiles and steps. The tile is actually the block that you place. The steps are what I'm going to call counting credit for whether you have stability or not. If you're going horizontally, any tile is considered one step. Now stairs count as horizontal tiles, and then in the Atreides tile set you have the long staircase that's 2 tiles long. Because it's placed as one super tile, it only counts as one step. For vertical up, you can go as many wall heights as you can stack inside of your fief. If you're traversing up a wall or a corner column of any height, it counts as one step. It doesn't matter if it's 5 tiles, as long as they're continuous and they're all going up, it will count as one step. That's true for the corner column and the wall. One step, any height. It's a 0 step to translate up a center column or a foundation. And there's no step count for the vertical traversal up or down when you use stairs. So I guess you could say the vertical traversal on stairs is 0 steps, but they still have the horizontal component, which will be 1 step. It's that time, guys. Please help support the channel by subscribing. You can also leave a like or comment, which really does help with the algorithm. And if you happen to be interested in live gameplay, I do stream weekly on Twitch, and I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much, guys. Next, we're going to talk about hanging tiles. Hanging tiles and supporting them only from above is a lot more complicated. The tile directly above does provide direct support, but there also appears to be some element of lateral support that's provided from tiles placed at each side. Similar to that horizontal placement where we use the step counts, the farther you get away from a grounded block, the fewer tiles that you're going to be able to hang. At first, my results when hanging tiles were kind of inconsistent, but the more I worked with it, I was able to stagger the tile placement and then ultimately develop an initial step count limit. In this case, a hanging tile could terminate at a count of 10 steps, where each half-height traverse downward counted as 1 step. To accomplish this though, the lower tiles were benefiting from some level of lateral support, and in fact the more tiles I added, the more lateral support there was, and I was able to continue adding tiles even exceeding the 10 steps, so this got kind of confusing. There's also this confusing case where I was only able to hang 3 half-height walls for a total of 8 steps. To me it seems like there's a mechanism where to hang a 4th tile, you need to have some level of support coming laterally from tiles to the side. I didn't spend a lot of time to fully unwind the rules that would apply to these free hanging walls. Part of that is because the floor tiles I could attach to these large walls were somewhat limited, and in fact there's just a better way to build down, and that was by using stairs or inclines. In the builds to try to understand the limits, I only had a single foundation block stuck on the side of a cliff. The more foundations that are added, the more support and overlapping support you're going to have, so there's going to be a lot more flexibility. It's a little difficult to visualize, but because the horizontal step count limit of 9 still does apply, the build volume at the bottom of the ramp is very small, and the farther up the ramp you go, the fewer steps away you are from the grounded tile, you'll have more and more space to build. I found that after ramp 6 was a more practical place to start, where I could build 3 tiles out from the bottom of the ramp. Again, because I'm just using a single foundation and have no overlapping support, every tile in the ceiling and floor are required, so I had to place a hatch in order to get into the base. But the more tiles that you apply to the cliff wall, the more overlapping support you have, that will allow for more build flexibility. So while in the end this wasn't comprehensive in terms of all the details around stability, I hope that you were able to pick up a few details that are helpful in your builds. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.